All right, so let's talk HELOCs, or home equity lines of credit. Now, I'm going to make this as simple as possible, and we'll cover what a HELOC is, when it makes sense, and when it doesn't really make sense. So let's get into it. So basically, a HELOC is like a credit card tied to your house. But instead of borrowing a lump sum all at once, you get access to a line of credit based on how much equity you've built up in your home. Now, you can borrow from it, pay it back, borrow it again, pay it back, just like a credit card, but usually with much lower interest rates than traditional loans or actual credit cards. Now, most HELOCs have a 5-year draw period, maybe a 10-year draw period, maybe a 3-year draw period. It all just depends on the term of the full term of the loan. Now, that's the period where you can access the funds, and then a repayment period is after that where you're just paying back everything that you borrowed. Now, there's 3 reasons why HELOCs are getting so popular lately. So the first reason, home values are still high. So that means many folks have a lot of equity built up in their home, even if they just bought a few years ago. Second, mortgage rates are higher right now. Now, if you've locked in a 3 or 4% mortgage a few years ago, you probably don't want to refinance all of what you owe into today's 6%-ish range mortgages just to access the cash. A HELOC, though, lets you borrow without touching that great first mortgage that I got you a few years ago, right? And the third reason is flexibility. You only borrow what you need when you need it. And that's perfect for things like home repairs or medical bills or consolidating high interest debt. In fact, it can help you get ahead of that debt faster because now you're paying less interest. So if you just keep paying the same payment, you're going to be digging down onto that interest a lot faster because you're not paying as much interest. So you might be asking, hey, Dan, is a HELOC right for me? Well, you'll want to consider a HELOC if you need cash for home improvements or renovations that increase the home's value, or you're facing unexpected expenses and don't want to rack up high interest credit card debt in order to pay for it, or you want to consolidate existing debt into one lower monthly payment. Or maybe you're a real estate investor looking for flexible cash without having to refinance the low rate mortgage you already have. And honestly, sometimes people use them for cool opportunities like funding a business idea or helping their kid go to college. There's lots of things that you can do with a HELOC. But let's be real, and I always want to make sure that I discuss the flip side on these things. A HELOC isn't for everyone. If you're not disciplined with borrowing, a HELOC can turn into a financial headache. If your income isn't stable, you could struggle with repayment since it does come with a monthly payment obligation. You got to pay payments on it. If property values dip and you owe more than your home is worth, well, that's equity that, you can't get back. And just like with any credit product, you've got to pay attention to interest rate changes, especially if you do a variable rate HELOC loan. Although most of the HELOCs I've been doing lately are fixed. Now, that's something that we'll talk about together and make sure we pick the right loan for you, though. So if you're wondering whether a HELOC is a smart move for you, just ask yourself, do I have enough equity in my home, which you usually need around at least 15 to 20% at minimum? Do I have a clear plan for the money? Can I afford the monthly payments? Am I comfortable actually using my house as collateral? If the answers to those things is yes, then you might be a great candidate for a HELOC. If you're curious about how much you could qualify for, or you just want an honest opinion on whether a HELOC actually fits your goals and would be right for you, well, then I'd be happy to get on the phone and sort it out with you and go over all of it. And it's only a soft credit pull to take a look anyway, which is great. So if you're in my hometown of Bakersfield or anywhere in the U.S. for that matter, and want honest mortgage advice with no fluff, subscribe to my YouTube channel as I've got plenty of new tips every week.